Okay, fair enough.
Go run the catch-all blueprint.
Yeah, just running down that.
So is this an action or is there more to discuss?
I'm okay with that. I think it's just an action.
Yeah, I think it's mostly
So
an action.
what
I
if
mean,
somebody-
is there other stuff we want to do around trying to make people aware that they really shouldn't be using third-party installers like that?
Well, we did add a FAQ entry to our
Okay.
page that's gets a lot of traffic.
I don't know what else you can do. I mean, we don't want the bugs for this,
Right.
but besides that,
Unless all the stuff, those plugins are going to be packaged or whatnot. I mean, it's hard to tell people not to use the third-party installer.
What?
Unless the similar installer is actually packaged, like for people who actually have a need for certain things.
yeah, it's called Software Center.
No.
I'm saying is the stuff that this thing installs, are those pieces of software in Software Center? I mean, especially it's like with Ruby, you have stuff like.
So what would
Ruby
we
gems
actually
and-
do to block that? We'd check if someone had the binary installed, or how would we?
I forget what the what Apport actually
Does
does.
just the act of downloading that and having it on your system make?
To taint all your bugs.
Right. Does that taint every single bug and you don't?
You can add a blacklist for the binary in the Apport blacklist Etsy folder.
Package or binary?
Binary.
So under user share, Apport, general hooks, automatics.
Right, but that will, doesn't that just mean that we won't get Apport bugs on that binary, and that's not what
No.
we want? We want more than
No,
that?
it's basically if you have a version of automatics 2, or Ultimatics, Apport will say, hey, no,
Oh, okay.
you've got a
Okay,
weird
so-
installer that.
Cool, so we can just add that? Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know what that did.
We've got a blacklist in there for Firefox.
Okay,
What's
cool.
that?
Well, that's like. What's a different type of blacklist actually?
So Jamie, do you want to go down to, oh, sorry, there was something else. Write a script to report
That's
backports
crash report
packages that need an
blacklist.
update through the
This is
security.
Ubuntu bug blacklist.
Yeah, I forget his first name. Is it Evan?
Is there a
What do
way
you mean
to
the
provide a
Firefox is doing
notification
crash report
if you're blocking
blacklisting?
the bug?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. No, this is general bug reporting, blacklisting.
Is there a way to provide a notification of why you're blocking their bug report?
Yes, it has a message that it pops up.
That's good.
I mean, it's a pretty straightforward Apport hook.
Cool.
So the next one is just an action item that we'll bring forward. Is that person still interested in implementing that?
I talked to him on IRC and he's like, yeah, I didn't have time.
Okay.
Didn't get to it yet. He didn't indicate he wanted to. He didn't indicate he didn't want to. I mean, he was kind of like, yeah, I need to do that.
Are there any
So
backports?
I'm kind of thinking, I mean, if he doesn't, we can try to do it, but it would be low priority. I mean,
Right. Are there any backports sessions this week?
Haven't seen any.
I don't see this
It's got-
as
it's
something
got
that
Kitterman's
we
not
should
here.
be someone's doing or leading.
just running a script.
No, but actually spending time developing this, but we have more stuff to do than,
That's
more
true.
important stuff to do than that.
Well, I guess the action would be to follow up with him. And then
UFW.
Right. Well, definitely, I need to do the last two things for the acceptance criteria. And I've been wanting to do that anyway, so I'll take those actions. The network manager stuff, I need to talk to Matthew about those.
So Upstream is actually putting firewall stuff in Network Manager, or planning to, based
Well,
on
I guess I should look at that.
based on Firewall D.
Firewall D?
Yeah.
Not firewall kit.
No, they called it Firewall D, because that's the new hotness. It's System D, Firewall D.
Right. Sorry, I'm behind the
So,
times.
if the GUI part gets done, then maybe it's worth investigating a Firewall D interface for UFW or something instead of. I don't know how far along they've gotten, or if at all.
I put the action as investigate firewall D for integration. So, audit D in May. Been talking about this for years.
Yes.
Yeah. One of the blockers was the fact that Audit D does more than just grab the kernel events and write it to a log file. There's network integration. There's a whole bunch of other stuff that it does.
Yep.
And that's one of the big blockers. So we thought up of the idea of actually building 2 binary packages with the source lobotomized version that removes all the network stuff and just has a simple daemon that grabs the kernel events and dumps it into the log file. And that would be the one that we could have in main. It could be called, I don't know, Audit D, or just Audit D, and then have another, the full one in the universe called Audit D full or something. That way we wouldn't have to go through all that code and try and make that secure or deroot it.
Is there a need to actually put a full version into Universe? I mean,
I don't know.
if it's not there right now, are people going to use it?
It is.
Oh, it is there now?
It's
Okay.
just not
okay.
in main.
Gotcha.
It's just not in main. So
Okay.
what we want is to move it to main so we can actually have something that
Makes sense.
people can install and is supported. But-
And I've previously heard from Audit D developers that the network support isn't really supported. It's got some issues. There's queuing issues, like it doesn't store anything to disk. It keeps all the messages in memory, so it can run out of space pretty fast, and it just drops messages then.
So maybe the solution's a lot simpler with just disable that completely and then move it to main.
Yeah,
Is that a configure option or whatever?
yeah. It's
So basically, somebody needs to look at it, see if it can be simplified, audited a bit, and
Well, the auditing would happen during the MI process.
Right.
But actually, if networking's off,
I mean, there's nothing
it
left.
probably wouldn't be audited, to be honest. If we also provided an AppArmor profile.
I mean, if there's no
Very
interface
quickly.
that anybody can talk to it, running as root is not
Well,
the biggest concern.
yes and no. I mean, you can still trigger kernel events that come through Audit D.
Right, yeah. But I mean, the scope is limited. There would be issues that we'd fix anyway.
it looks like
in the
this-
audit.
Well, it requires a kernel bug, probably, like it
looks like it's already
to be
split out.
able to create a message that would then make Audit D do something that you wanted it to do.
It's the networking stuff, the plugin.
Presumably.
And the Audit D is the.
I mean, I'm thinking it's
the-
probably seeing most of the stuff that the kernel is outputting.
Yeah.
And so it's probably solid there.
So I think a work item is to look at it, see what we can split out.
Just searching the archive, it looks like it might already be split out into 2 packages. There's a AUDISPD plugins, and I know that contains the network.
Oh,
So, and then there's another package called Audit D. So the work might already be done. It might just be pulling Audit D in.
well, I have it installed. I don't think it's listening on anything.
Yeah, the description for AUDISPD plugins is it's a package that provides plugins for the real-time interface to the audit subsystem. These plugins can do things like relay events or remote machines or analyze events for suspicious behavior. So I think it's You might have a head start there.
Can you see what I've typed in Etherpad, whatever it's called?
I need to go.
Mine, I just, no.
I just lost mine.
It's doing reestablishing connection. It starts.
Okay.
There we go. Whoops.
Reconnect now. Oh, okay, I can see it.
Yeah.
So is it worth like doing something like an AppArmor profile for it? If networking starts out? Or are there bigger fish to fry?
Yeah, I think we should do that.
Yeah, I mean,
Oh, okay, so the
I think
problem,
it's a- I think-
the problem was,
go ahead.
it was a circular problem where if AppArmor is broken, then you can't log
Right.
to see. So that's.
Well, that's true when you're doing any syslog type, any logging daemon.
You could, I mean, just to start it out, you could wrap it and just make it really, really broad.
Debug it, okay.
So what would be protected there? So it's not network listening. So we're worried about local attacks from unprivileged users?
Somebody could figure out a way to, for example, if it's misparsing the buffer that the kernel is sending to it, somebody could generate kernel messages that overflow a buffer and then can
Yep.
control that process.
There is a library interface to audit data, send messages to it as well.
So injecting
Yeah.
erroneous messages really isn't something we're worried about here.
It's
If-
not
if
so
already-
much injecting erroneous messages, well, it is, it's malicious messages.
Right, malicious, yeah, that's good.
If we wrap it in an AppArmor profile, then nobody can use it to do other things.
Okay.
Like we limit it to the kernel interface and to
It
the
can't,
log file. and-
basically making sure it just can't exec anything.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm assuming it's gonna have pretty broad permissions, but, you know, you're not gonna be able
Well-
to run something from audit.
Right. I
We
mean,
can disable the networking so that if they even
right, I
have
was-
the other
was-
thing installed, we'd have to communicate that in the documentation.
Well, you make it so if you install the plugins, there's another profile that gets dropped in that enables it.
Anyway,
That's tricky.
The how to do it is part of the action, so
Yes.
we should discuss this some other time.
Yeah.
Fair point.
If it's tricky, we figure out how to do it.
Yeah.
Getting Ubuntu tools up to snuff for extended attributes. So I gather that's to take all the patches that Fedora and or other SE Linux using distros have added,
Well, yeah,
and make sure that we have them.
with making sure our tar can,
Our
yeah,
extended
Can
attributes.
set X adders. Yeah, I think I remember Kay saying it was a lot about the packaging too, making sure that.
Depackage.
Yeah.
depackage.
Well, that was if we wanted that. So that came from when we wanted to ship daemons with file system capabilities. What
Right.
we wanted to do was to have dpackage natively support that and not add the fscap in maintainer scripts.
Right. So I don't know if that requirement is so much anymore, because,
If this is just for the cryptfs long file name stuff, we don't need dpackage.
yeah, well, I don't think we need depackage for eCryptFS or,
We just want to make sure that the normal tools
yeah, we
work
just
with-
want to make sure the tools work at this point.
Is anyone else connected? I started up a Tomboy now because it's dropped me.
I'm trying to
I'm
connect right
connected.
now.
Yeah. So we don't need DPAC support for SCAPs anymore because our goals have changed. And then, but we just want to make sure that the tools support it. That's what we just said, right?
Right.
And what are those tools? TAR?
Tar, star, LS, I mean, anything that works, right, rsync, anything that works, any archiving tools.
Probably copy and move. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's all stuff that either there are patches in Fedora for SC Linux already,
Yep.
or the patches have made their way upstream. Some of them may have a compile time option enabled SC Linux or some stupid thing like that to turn on the extended attribute codes. So we need to make sure that we were compiling that support in. And maybe even write a QRT test script for extended attributes where we would create a few files and then try and archive them, move them, do all that stuff.
Should we only be looking at tools in main?
I think that'll be enough
Yeah.
work for us to start with.
Compression, you need compression support also, right?
Yeah.
Depends
Well,
on,
it depends on the tool. If the compression format doesn't support it, there's nothing we can do. Like, I'm not even sure TAR supports it inside the TAR format.
I know there's at least versions of TAR that do.
Yeah.
SC Linux, yeah, for Red Hat systems it has.
It does.
Right,
they-
Star does, so, okay.
Yeah, not just Red Hat, Apple.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
But I mean, for zip
Debian
files and
has
stuff like that.
SC Linux.
Offhand, gzip,
In their kernel.
LZMA, bzip
I
2,
think this would be really
XZ.
good for them.
And those for standard and Debian packages that in Ubuntu.
Say them again.
Gzip, bzip 2, XZ, and LZMA. A few are using LZMA.
What are we talking about?
We're talking about the compression tools
Yeah.
that may need extended attribute support. So he just
Listed them all.
listed
So
them.
those are basically the ones used in the archive
Right. So you're just talking about using them without CPIO or TAR or anything like that? You just do a file?
Because I would think that they would be working
Yes.
on the entire TAR archive instead of specific files in the archive.
All right.
we should look into whether they
Yeah,
directly
yeah.
support it or not, though.
Yep.
bzip, gzip, LZMA,
XZ.
XZ. Okay.
What about the backup
use-
tools that we have in main, which would be backup PC and
And
Yeah.
Add to the list.
some packages use it too.
Bacula? Bacula.
Because some upstreams are zip.
Is
So
Unison?
Right.
might need unzip
Unison,
too.
is that in main?
Unison?
Yeah.
That should be looked at.
Oh, yeah.
I just looked at backup PC. It has different backends. It'll use TAR, rsync, various things like that. So as
Okay.
long as the underlying tool, I
Right.
think that'll be true of
You need
most
to
of
add
them.
some command lines probably to
Yeah,
TAR.
that's
and
right.
rsync.
Although, I don't know, based on my experience with like our snapshot, you can typically specify your own additional command line options to rsync.
You can with backup PC too.
Anyway, so it's stuff, it's.
My assumption is that most tools are gonna act like that.
Right, so we should probably change the default then.
Yeah.
Like somebody who installs backup PC should automatically have, if our TAR supports the dash whatever option, our backup PC install should do that by default. So the default backup includes extended attributes.
Unless, well, I don't know. I mean, there's a reason they're not there now, right? I mean, part of it is because it's not in TAR.
Right, it's because the tools didn't support it. But I mean, you won't break
Well,
anything
it's-
by,
Well, that's what I was wondering, is it?
I guess if, it depends on what the file system
that's
the rsync on the other
Yeah.
end supports extended attributes.
Like if you're syncing to a Lucid server or something.
right, will the old TAR fail if it finds extended attributes in its compressed database, or does it gracefully handle them as extended things that it doesn't understand? That's the
We
question.
need to investigate that.
Right.
I don't know.
It seems like the first step is just looking at the tools and just making sure they support it. And then,
Or at least
If-
having a wiki page with you know, this
Right.
tool needs, here's an upstream patch, or here's a Fedora patch, or here's a patch on some guy's website, or whatnot. At least document what we need to do.
And the other catch is that there's several, or most of the X-header namespaces can actually be assigned from user space. So it's really just backing up like the user namespace and maybe system. I don't know about system, but a lot of stuff like security dot whatever, which is where SE Linux X-headers are stored, can't be set from user space. It's got to go through the kernel. The kernel actually sets it. So.
Well, there's security, system, trusted, user.
User's the big one.
And I'm trying to think.
Oh, Etherpad is awesome.
Yeah, it's
System is used for. There's a specific thing it
tested
can be
under
used
this
for.
type of load.
Since the last UDS, yeah.
System is used for.
I think we have more people.
What is it used for? I wanted to use it once and then I couldn't because it
Have the
actually the way
developers
this worked out.
switch to
Yeah.
Etherpad?
So what are those called? These different areas?
Security,
Namespaces.
they're namespaces.
Namespaces.
Xetter namespaces. There's 4 of them.
So like whenever Red Hat packaging installs the system, what it does is it just entars all the files, and then it actually goes and triggers SE Linux to go and relabel those files.
And it's doing that in the security namespace.
Yep, yep.
So when you restore from backup, you need to do a relabel.
Yeah. Well,
A selective relabel.
actually, in the case of like SE Linux, if you did a backup, you wouldn't actually back up your labels. Just because labels can vary from system to system depending on the policy.
Oh, so they don't do the security namespace.
Right. 'Cause you
Well,
can't-
so you really do need a relabel.
Yeah. So mainly, I mean, user is the big one. You know, if a user sets an X-header, or sets an X-header in the user namespace, then you don't want to.
There's the 3 you can get from user space.
There's a 3. Okay.
Systems, trusted, and user.
Okay.
And system is only used for something.
Is that like ACLs?
Yeah, it is examples.
And user is like the FS caps.
Yeah, you can. Actually, I don't know what FS caps use.
Yeah, I don't really know.
User is what you can do if you do a set fadder. That's just from the command line. That's
No,
when you can
user's
set.
not FS caps. Because anybody can do user.
Yeah, anyone can change it. It's based upon the
Trusted,
INO.
probably, if I remember right. Trusted, and that's what I was actually doing, the encrypt FS and trusted as well.
All right, so the action is a wiki page documenting the investigations, and then I've got a list of tools and things to look at, and then which namespaces to back up, and we said not security, but the other 3. And then we would go from there, I guess, on actions.
System in the kernel only wired for ACLs. So you can stick stuff in there, but then you don't get it back out correctly. No one can.
I am still reestablishing the connection, so again, I'm just using a Tomboy node, and I'll put it in there later.
Yeah, I can't connect either, just,
Yeah.
Yeah. It looks like you're into me, Mark. Although, I don't know.
oh yeah, I just got in. With you, nobody else is connected.
Maybe I'll just reload and be in there. I'm in there now. Okay. Format that later.
Just get a coffee.
I have Sandbox in there, but I have a feeling that'll take
more than
a
our
minute.
Monday morning capability.
So,
Yeah.
security P, catch dash all. And that's where we'll just have a bunch of miscellaneous
Yeah, I know, I
lookups
just,
that fall
I
into this.
haven't been finding it, so.
So, did we get any sort of consensus on removing the Java plugin from Ubuntu restricted extras?
Yeah, I think we're doing it.
Should it just be an action, or is there anybody else we need to really coordinate with?
Let me check. Well, we should probably just run it by the major derivatives since they all have the checkbox in the installer. But
What are we talking about?
I guess it's our call anyway because of
Plugins.
security
I asked
applications.
if there was consensus on removing the Java plugin from Ubuntu restricted extras. What we talked about last night. You doing okay?
No, yeah, I just looked at the stupid projector.
So worried you're just gonna fall out of your chair or something.
Yeah, well, it feels like, you know, it goes like this. Yeah, I'll remove that. Discuss it. After.
So why are we doing it? It's a major security
Attack vector.
attack vector. That was what I was.
And usage
could not
of
pull
Java
up.
plugins on the web there are 3 reasons.
Right, so
Major attack vector and not used on the web. And the third one is, this is something that it's no longer a restricted extra. It's not, there's no patents on it. It's just an ordinary package, just like any other one.
Seems when you call up on, or the PFS service in Firefox will actually find the plugin if somebody tries to load Java now.
Oh, right.
Alright.
4th reason.
It's a
We
task
need to verify it.
Yeah.
Right.
follow. And, I'll just,
Yeah, if that's there, we don't even need to follow up with anyone, right? If that's there, then we're just good. We'll just make the call.
well, I mean, we should just notify the
Derivatives.
the major derivatives, anybody with the installer checkbox, basically, that's in the archive is a,
It's a notified, it's
Yeah.
not a
yes,
ask.
yes, notify, inform,
Okay.
just so that they're aware of
Isn't that
the-
why isn't that what change logs are for?
Yes, they might want to write, well, they might not be watching the precise dash changes, so, for every single thing, so. It's just
Well,
a
that's their
courtesy.
fault.
Just a
Okay.
courtesy.
I put it on there. You might get that.
That's fine.
So
Happy to remove it too from the archive.
I have in there demoting desktop couch and Erlang.
Is that not used anymore?
I think they're moving away from it. And if they're moving away from it,
It's not used.
okay. I don't know what the status is. I know that there were problems and that,
Yeah.
I mean, they dropped contacts support with the phone and stuff, and this is all out there.
His
People have
couch-
been emailed. It's,
Right.
you don't have to freak out.
No, I'm freaking out because that means my contacts aren't being synced right now.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Shoot, I can't even, in Evolution, if I click on my Ubuntu One contacts, I don't even have any in there.
Depends on what release you're
But-
running.
That means Julie's contacts aren't synced either.
Well, it depends on what release. Oneric and on, it's not happening anymore.
Right.
Wait a second. Oh, sorry, no, I'm thinking of something else.
All right, so I think the action here is verify the status, and then if no longer used, demote.
Is that the only reason that Erlang is in Maine?
I think so. I wanted to, well, certainly we'd want to get rid of desktop couch if it's not being used.
Yeah.
There's so many jokes I could make now about putting the couch on the side of the road.
Yeah, the mirror for Erlang says the rationale is dependency of CouchDB. I don't know if anything exists now.
Shoot, and the
Sure.
reverse depends, well, that's just our line, but,
Yeah, it's just CouchDB.
oh, good. Because I'd love to get that out of there, because that is a pain to patch.
Is it?
Oh,
What's Erlang?
no, it's not. RabbitMQ. RabbitMQ uses it also.
RabbitMQ is in Maine now?
Yeah, from the server. Was that an orchestra thing or something?
Yeah, it might be.
It's part of all that stuff. It's a cloudy thing.
But the RabbitMQ Erlang client is in universe.
Oh, so it's in
Oh.
Maine just for build events?
Yes.
Probably.
Could just have the dev package in main then. Oh, no, that doesn't.
Well, the source can be a main, but all the binaries.
It's not.
That doesn't help for build events. The dev package will prompt one
Well, not
binary
a
to
build
use.
sense, right.
So,
Anyway, we'll figure it out.
they could build it separately maybe.
So, all right, so we'll look into it. So, the other one, oh, Deb Sums in May. Now, we
Yes.
are going through this list.
Good.
Maybe we will have time to talk about sandboxing and a roundtable this week.
Are we done already?
Deb sums. So
Attempts
my,
to sub.
my brain is a bit blurry on how deb sums work.
Yeah, we're done.
Packages have to support deb sums by having a deb sums file in the package. Is that
Something like that. You have to do something build time to have it by default. Otherwise, what happens is the debsums package installs an apt hook that computes your debsums like the first time at install time,
Okay.
which is less useful.
And that's all based on MD5, right?
Yeah, I think it's all based on MD5.
And a whole bunch of packages that we have in the archive now, the
There's a-
MD5, the deb sums file doesn't match what's actually in the package, and there's a whole bunch of.
Well,
problems with that.
there's a few packages in main that don't ship a debsums file at all, and so they get, if you install like debsums after that package gets installed, if there's never an upgrade, you never get a debsums MD5 sums calculated for it.
Oh, okay, so that would be the incentive to have deb sums in main, so every time somebody, but then that would probably slow down everything.
Well, no, if it's done at build time, then they don't have to do it at
Right,
install
but
time.
whatever's not done at build time, then every time people update their package or install new packages, then you have another 10-second wait. So can the first work item be to actually look and see if deb sums can use something better than MD5?
Sure.
If we're gonna
Yeah,
try and use it, it should be using something better than MD5.
yeah. I mean, honestly, this is something dpackage should provide,
Yeah.
but it doesn't. Does anybody follow dpackage development upstream to know whether it's on their roadmap?
So the RPM database format actually stores the hash inside the database.
Yes.
So this is not something that is in the deb package format. There's nothing in the database that contains hashes of its own file. How is it verifying the integrity of?
If we're going to do that at all in the next 2 years, now would be the time to do it. Because right now we're running into problems with dpackage not being updated enough for XZ debs, and so we need pre-depends, and it just makes packaging a nightmare. So we're considering in the next 2 years getting that type of support in dpackage. That would be the time.
So, what is the, in varlib dpackage info, what is the file package.md5sums? Is that deb sums?
Yes.
So if you use regular deb helper stuff, you just get it for free?
I don't know.
Some packages have it, some packages don't, so it's probably a build time option, but which build time option?
Well, I just looked and
'Cause, like-
USW has it, but I don't remember ever.
But that's because you have deb sums
Thinking about it.
installed. Do you have deb sums installed?
I do. I certainly wouldn't in the CH root where I build it. Or on the, I don't think. I would see.
So where was this? Varlib?
Varlib dpackage info, and then it's package name dot md5sums. A binary package name.
We're actually over.
Right. Oh,
There's a ton of them.
right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it seems to be automatic.
Not for everything.
Not for everything.
All right.
I know I hit some, I mean, it was like a year and a half or 2 years ago, but it was like, like a couple of, it was either libc packages or GCC packages didn't have them.
It's ones that you were.
Yeah, exactly. I'd like to know if my GCC has been Trojan, thank you.
So Bonaire 6, we need to cross the hallway to our private meeting.
Yeah,
Okay.
the session's been over for 5 minutes.
Well, thanks, everyone.
Yeah, I was actually going to ask if they had issued a raise.
So we came over. 2 seats.
So Zenlib might be getting out of main. Zenlib might be, yes,
XNN.
Oh, good.
Maybe what?
being demoted.
That's fine.
It's in Maine?
Yes,
Probably
caffeine.
for totem.